What's going on, guys? Alex Tabor here, hailing to you from the Crusader Castle because we're Legacy Wealth Crusade, and we're hailing to you from Carrollton, Texas. So we had a little bit of audio issues on some of the platforms. I want to get that cleared up, and I want to provide as much value as I can to you guys. So I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. It looks like my audio signal is good on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So hopefully you guys can hear me. But what I went over the last time we went live, and I guess the audio cut out, or you guys lost audio connection, whatever happened. Anyway, we went over the three different types of life insurance. Okay, there's only three different types of life insurance out there. The first is term. So term is great for whenever like you have the income is low but the bills are high in a household. It gives you the most amount of protection for the least amount of cost. That's a term policy and it's available in increments. So you can get a 10-year, 15, 20, 25, and 30-year increment. Now, just like the name suggests, however, it does end. So let's say you're a 32-year-old client, you get a 30-year term policy. You'll be 62 when that policy expires. Well, now you may be uninsurable because of underlying health conditions, or you're just a lot older in age. So now the amount of coverage, even if you are approved, it's going to be a lot more. Okay, so that's a downfall with the term. The next type of life insurance is a ROP. Stands for return of premium. Now, I'm sure most of you have vehicles you drive around, whether it's motorcycle, truck, or auto. Wouldn't it be great if 30 years went by, you never filed a claim, you never had any accidents, and the insurance carrier said, you know what? Thanks for being such a good client. Here's all your money back that you've paid us in premiums. Well, I hate to burst your bubble. There's nothing like that in auto insurance, but there is with life insurance, and that's what it's called as a return of premium. So it's only available in a 30-year increment. Typically, I use these as a form of mortgage protection because most people's mortgages are 30 years. So now you have a 30-year ROP in place that should life throw you guys a curveball, uh, your family wouldn't succumb to any kind of financial hardship or financial burden. They're going to continue to be able to live the lifestyle that they've grown accustomed to. They wouldn't have to sell their house or anything like that should anything happen to you. Now, obviously, our plan is to outlive this policy. So once we outlive the policy no longer is around. You got a paid off house. You get that lump sum of money that you've put in every year or every month in premiums back to you. Now you can do some honeydews around the house. You can upgrade the kitchen, the bathroom, or just take the family out on a vacation. So that's the benefit of a return of premium. Next, we have permanent. I love permanent policies because of all the different things that you can do with them. There's three major types of permanent policies. The first type of permanent policy is something that most are familiar with called whole life. Whole life is great, it has its place, but it's kind of like carrying around a pager nowadays. Whereas if you want the latest and greatest smartphone or iPhone, you may look at something that's called an indexing universal life. The other type is called a GUL. It's a guaranteed universal life. Okay, GULs have their place as well, but I want to focus on the main two, whole life and IUL, because there's specific differences in the two that you need to be aware of when you're comparing. A whole life policy is still considered a permanent policy, but it only covers you until you're 100 years of age. Okay. An IUL covers you until you're 120 years of age. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like bringing back biblical times. How about you? So I'm going to last till 120 at least. If not, I'm going to have all my money back to me, and I'm going to go have a shopping spree or something. But we're going to have some fun. So another difference between a whole life policy and an IUL is a whole life policy does not have what's called living benefits, where an IUL does. Now, living benefit states that if you get diagnosed with anything like a critical, chronic, or a terminal illness like heart disease or cancer or stroke or even Alzheimer's, you have access now to a portion of your death benefit protection for you to use while you're alive. And that way you're not having to dip into your cash value of the policy. your savings account of your bank, or your retirement fund. Okay, they can stay your retirement funds. That's why an IUL policy, a properly structured indexing policy, even just a term policy, that would get rid of over half of the GoFundMe accounts that's floating around out there, probably over three-quarters of them. So, uh, medical expenses, funeral costs, those are the number one and number two causes that families break apart is financial stress and financial burden. Okay. Life insurance solves most of America's problems. Would you guys agree with me that America has kind of got a financial issue going on right now? Well, there is a solution to that problem. Now, whether it's households not making enough income or just households succumbing to financial hardship, financial burden because they're not properly protected, the breadwinner of the family is not properly protected, or somebody got diagnosed with something and now they're drowning in hospital bills or having to have one of the family members step away from their job and now look after that individual. So now there's one less income stream coming into the household, and you're having to look after somebody instead of getting somebody put into a long-term care facility or proper protection or proper somebody that's trained like a nurse to take care of them. Maybe you're not able to afford that. Well, a life insurance policy with living benefits would take care of that for you. So, back to the income thing is if you're not making enough income in your current situation, your current financial season, start a business. This is the number one industry. If in fact, if you were to Google which industry has made the most cash flow millionaires, it's not real estate, it's not technology, it's financial services. Well, life insurance makes up the majority of financial services industry. It's highly regulated. So the concepts and strategies that I talk about, whether it's life insurance, retirement planning, whether it's infinite banking concepts, they're all governed by tax codes, guys. So it's perfectly legal. It's just new strategies that middle class America has not been taught. The wealthy have been using them for years. This is how the Rockefellers became the Rockefellers. This is how Walt Disney created Disney World. This is how Sam Walton started Walmart. This is how Ray Kroc started McDonald's. They used and leveraged their life insurance policies to do that. Now, the reason that you hear things like it's tax free, you have access to your money tax free, is we're teaching you velocity of your money. Okay, it's working in multiple places at the same time. Because whenever you use your cash value of one of these policies, you're not withdrawing your cash value. It's not like a bank. If you put 100,000 in a bank and then you go take out 100,000 and buy something with it, that 100,000 can never work for you ever again. But if you take that same 100,000 and put it into an uninterrupted compounding interest account, a life insurance policy, as long as it's properly structured, then you can access a portion of that after 31 days and you can go and use it over here because you're not withdrawing it. You're leveraging it. You're leveraging, let's say you can leverage 75,000 out of that 100,000. You're borrowing it from your future death benefit of the policy. That's why the death benefit is an increasing death benefit with an IUL that's been properly structured. It's an increasing death benefit so that it outpaces the cash value growth and it stays a life insurance policy. If it doesn't stay a life insurance policy, then you're taxed on capital gains tax. We don't want that. We don't like capital gains tax. We want to have our money working for us tax free and have access to it. This is why a 401k is called a 401k trap. It's a retirement trap. You can't access your money directly, and it's directly affected with the stock market. When you lose in the stock market, you lose in your retirement. And then you got to do double the work just to get back to where you were to begin with. With a life insurance policy that's been properly structured, designed, and engineered, especially if it's geared towards retirement in the form of a LIRP, a life insurance retirement plan, you're able to capture the market gains, but it has what's called a 0% financial floor, meaning that you're not susceptible to any of the losses. Now, how do they do that? Well, the insurance carriers don't play with the principal, okay? Your principal is protected and preserved first and foremost. But what happens is the interest earned and the interest accumulated, they put it with the indices of the market. Now, it's not an index fund, okay? And it's not an index directly. It's an indices of the market. For instance, S&P 500, Credit Suisse, Barclays. When the market does good, you do good. When the market does a downturn or correction, you are protected. You have a 0% floor, so you may not make anything in a down market year, but you're guaranteed never to lose. However, when the market does rebound, you're going to capture the gains. Okay, so think of it as stair steps. Instead of you going up and down and up and down and up and down, you're going up level, up level, up level, while having access to all your money that's growing in that policy tax free. If anything did happen to you, it's going to blossom a few $100,000 more and transfer income tax free direct to your beneficiary. Okay. Also having living benefits. So you're protected on all fronts. Your finances is protected. Your retirement's protected. Your family's protected. Your life is protected. Everything is taken care of. You can rest easy at night. Your pillow's a little bit softer. You don't have to worry about anything. So if this is something that you want to learn more about, or maybe you're interested in learning more about the industry, getting your license, because we are licensed professionals, working with over 400 different carriers that are all across the nation. These are not mom and pop carriers that you have to have your policy in force for a year or 2 or 3 for it to pay out. These are, once you are approved and you are covered. So if a bus hits you tomorrow, guess what? Your family's taken care of. This is what is more beneficial when we're partnering with these multi-billion-dollar carriers that's been around since the 1800s. So if you want a list of the carriers, if you want to learn more about it, if you want to see one structured specifically for you and what it would look like, click the link in the bio of this page so that you can grab your free strategy call with me. I look forward to our next conversations. God bless, and we'll see you next time.